Alright, so the first thing you're going to want to check is the battery itself. Make sure that's outputting a good voltage and holding the voltage. And then you're also going to want to check the output of the alternator itself while it's running. And mine seemed to be alright for a little bit and then it stopped, so we'll have to figure that out. And you also want to check the belt and all that, make sure it's good. And I'm probably going to go ahead and clean these terminals here just to be safe. You want to check all the connections. You also want to locate the fuse box, which usually has a diagram, and make sure you don't have a blown fuse, because that's a quick, easy fix. Alright, to get to the alternator, you're first going to want to take off this little black cover right here, and it's really simple. Just turn it 90 degrees, so, and then it should pop right off. Wiggle it. There we go. Next, we're going to want to remove these two bolts right here, and then disconnect this connector. That way we can get these wires out of the way. Next, you're going to want to disconnect this little pipe here and pull this reservoir out. And then we're going to want to take the fan out, and it has 4 bolts, 2 on the top and 2 on the bottom, and it should slide out. And then we should be able to get to the alternator and pull it right out the front. The coolant reservoir is just held on by this bracket, so you should be able to just pull it straight out. Alright, so you can see I got the fan out, got those 4 bolts you can see on the 4 corners there. Bottom one I had to get from underneath the car, which is a little annoying. There's also this little connector that connects over here to the fan itself. And I found it was easier to disconnect it if I took it off this little bracket that it slips on, just because it's a little tight in there. Next, you're going to want to take the belt off. And to do that, you pull up on this tensioner here, which is a 19mm. It can be kind of hard, so you might need an extra bar for more leverage. But once it loosens up, you should be able to slide it off. And you just want to take it off the alternator, not the other pulleys. Now we can go ahead and get the alternator out. So I'm going to undo this bolt, and then there's one at the bottom as well. And if you find you aren't strong enough to undo this bolt, don't worry, just go find a pipe and then you can slide that over the handle of your wrench there. Then that'll give you extra leverage and make it a lot easier. There we go. So I got it out, and besides being kind of dirty, everything seems to be fine. So I'm gonna check this voltage regulator, take it out by those 2 screws right there, and I think we found our problem. See how corroded that is? That'd explain why the alternator was working for a little bit and then stopped working. The alternator's fine, it's just that connection right there. I did end up getting a new one. I'll probably put it on just to be safe. I'm also going to go ahead and replace the brushes since I have one. I don't think I really needed to, but might as well. Alright, let's see if I can get this back to the metal. It's pretty bad, but there's still some good metal under there, so if I scrape it, sand it, it should be alright. I was able to get it all sanded off. Looks a lot better now. We can now put the new voltage regulator on. Now that's all cleaned up. You can see it's a whole bunch of clean, bare metal, so it should make a nice, good connection. I'm going to use some pliers here to crimp it down nice and tight. And then I can go ahead, and now that that's nicely crimped, I'm going to go ahead and put these screws back in. One right there. And the one on the other side as well. I also soldered that connection. It's not very pretty, but it's strong, and that's what matters. Now we can finish putting everything together. Those last two screws in, pull this in. And I also put that little plastic guard there. Then we put the top on. Line it up with those 3 bolts there. Tighten them up, and we can put it back in the car. Alright, I got the alternator back in the car. In the exact reverse of taking it out. Got that bolt right there for the bracket. And then there's one right down here. Not sure if you can see it. And then for tensioning to get the belt on, you just need to pull up on that tensioner and get it on, and then you let it go and it should be nice and tight. Make sure you get it fully on all the belts. Make sure it didn't slide off one of them. And then we can go ahead and reconnect these wires. So this part here, and then this blue connector goes to the voltage regulator. And then there's also this other little connector that goes down to that old black connector. Don't forget that. Next, you're going to put the fan in, the exact reverse of taking it out. And then also the coolant reservoir, plug that back in. Alright, now that I got it all back in, I'm going to do some tests. Make sure it's good and reliable before I take it out on the road. So I got it running, and it is generating a good amount of power. Let's see if it will hold. Alright, so it seems to be holding pretty well. Everything looks to be fine. Sounds good. Nothing to be worried about. Alright. Still holding the charge. I'm going to go ahead and turn on the AC and the fan. Full blast, see if it can handle the load. So, I mean, I don't want the car shutting off if I turn the AC on. You can see the fan is going now. And let's see how it holds the power. Okay, I think I can safely say it is fixed.